Ah, hey, what's up? I'm reviewing the Anvil show that I went to on May 17th at the Reverb in Reading, PA. Sorry about it's a little late me getting in on this. It's almost a week ago. I've been busy. I've been kind of busy doing stuff around here, so I've had time to sit down and do the review. So that's why I'm doing it now. So like I said, this show is at the Reverb in Reading, and besides Anvil, it was a lot of local bands. It was Bullet Method, Corners of Sanctuary, Stone Cold Fever, and Metalwulf, and another band I believe was called the Cause of Affliction. I believe. I'll get to that in a second. So right off the bat, the first band was Bullet Method, and they were, there was two kinds of bands. Well, there were like two or three kinds of bands that were there. And these guys were a metalcore band, and I don't know if they were okay. I just don't know if they fit very well. Their sound was very very metalcore. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, nothing really. These guys, they were okay, but I mean, they were your normal run of the mill metalcore band. One of the things which was kind of a theme for the whole night, which isn't a bad thing, was every band had one guitarist. Every band had a bassist, one guitarist, and probably a singer, and then well, of course, a singer, and then a drummer. But then, like, sometimes either one of the guitarists or the bassist would be the singer, and other times it'd be just a singer by himself. And this band, like I said, they were okay, Bullet Method, but like there was two things that I thought were really weird, which was they did a song towards the end of their set that was kind of like a rap metal song, and it just didn't fit. Like, that's not the show to play that kind of song at. Like, I don't know, it's like it just sounded weird. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it wasn't bad, it's just that it wasn't the right show to play it at, and it wasn't the right and it just didn't fit. And the other thing was they had this this woman who came up and did vocals with them, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I mean, she just sounded off. I'm not saying she can't sing, because again, I don't know, I've never seen this band before. I don't know if maybe she was just having an off night. I don't know. It's just that, at least in the two songs that she came out and sang with them on, it didn't sync up, and it just kind of brought the performance down a lot in my eyes. I mean, that's the thing, these guys weren't bad. If they played a more metalcore show, these guys would probably be really good. And if I would have anticipated seeing a band like this, then I might have, enjoyed them more. But I mean, they were just kind of there, and also I was more there for Anvil and for Metalwulf. So, and speaking of which, next up was Metalwulf. Metalwulf, I'm gonna try to not talk about them too much. I know those guys. I'm friends with the guitarist and lead singer Joel, so I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, and I will give my thoughts on everything, which was they did good. They probably, out of all the bands that were there, besides maybe Corners of Sanctuary, they probably fit in the most with like Anvil. These guys play, as they've called it, power thrash. Very much inspired by like Queensryche, Judas Priest, and like Metallica. They're very much kind of a more old school thrash style band, and they played in, well, at least a song I hadn't heard before, and I'd seen them a couple times before. They played a new song, and they covered Paranoid, which is something that they always say. But I'm just gonna say one thing about them, which is, maybe find either like a new song to cover or throw in a couple new songs. That's all I'm gonna say. It's not I like the songs you guys play, and I know the songs you guys play. Like, I know how all those songs go, and they're good songs. It's just that they've literally kind of played the exact same set every single time I've seen them. So I mean, it may at least mix up the cover that you play, because or something. Just, and again, like, your set's good. It's just that mix it up a little bit. It would, especially for like me, who's been there a lot, and maybe a couple other people who've been there a lot. It would make it fresh and even more entertaining than it is, because you guys had a lot of energy and you guys were really fun to watch. So after that was Stone Cold Fever. This was another band that just kind of came out of nowhere. I honestly don't know how to explain what these guys sound like. They remind me a little bit of like AC/DC and like 60s and 70s rock, which I guess also kind of fits in with Anvil a little bit. I mean, it wasn't so much metal as it was rock, but you know, they did pretty good. You know, there was the bassist. There was just a bassist and a guitarist, and the bassist and guitarist were older guys. The guitarist easily looked like he was in his 50s or 60s, and then the drummer looked really young, and he played the drumming fit, everything fit really, really well. And the vocals were, you know, it seemed like at times he was trying to sound the vocal patterns and like the way he was trying to sound. Like, not that he was emulating Bon Scott or Brian Johnson's voice, but it seems like that's the kind of style he was going for. Like, he didn't have the rasp, but I mean, like, his patterns and the pitches he was hitting was kind of similar. And the one thing that I really liked, that was really cool about these guys, about Stone Cold Fever, was the guitarist just looked like, I don't know, he was just cool to watch. Like, he was just, you know, again, this older guy, and he was just jamming. Like, if you would told me they were an improv band, I'd believe you, because like he was just kind of playing, and you know, he'd solo, and he was just kind of going all over the place. And I mean, it's not like he was shredding, but I mean, like, it was cool to watch. Like, again, maybe they didn't fit in perfectly, but I mean, they kept my interest, because, you know, it was just interesting to watch these older guys still rocking. It was pretty cool. After that was another metalcore-esque band. I'm sorry their name isn't on the ticket, so I'm sorry I didn't catch you guys' name. I believe their name was Cause of Affliction. I'm sorry. It was at that point I was kind of like waiting for Anvil. I'd seen Metalwulf. I was waiting for Anvil. I'm sorry, that happens at shows. I mean, I'm human. You can't, you know, call me out on that. So, and again, these guys were pretty okay. These guys were a little bit more thrashy, I felt at times, than in the other metalcore band that was there. So these guys, they managed to keep my interest really well. The drummer, they had a chick drummer, and she was spot on. She was really good. Like, the drumming was the one thing that I noticed was really, really good. It was just that there was a couple of things, and you know, the guitarist was really good, and the bassist and the vocalist was really good. A couple pet peeves I had was that I feel like the vocalist was trying too hard to sound like some kind of a mix between Corey Taylor and Sully Erna from Godsmack. You know, he had very much of that kind of sound. And the only other pet peeves was that sometimes they could have been so much heavier, and they weren't. Like, I feel like they were trying to get across the vibe that we're not a normal metalcore band, which is cool, but then, like, you know, there's things they could have been heavy and that would have made it better. I mean, yeah, they're trying to avoid that, maybe. I don't know. But, you know, it just sometimes, like, something that could have been, like, a cool breakdown just kind of didn't have the balls to it. So they could have done that a little bit better. And the other thing that I thought was funny was singer had a keg and a baseball bat. You know, very much Slipknot. And a couple songs he would just hit it, and it sounded, you could tell that he'd beaten the crap out of this thing before, and I feel like when he did hit it, he was hitting it too frequently, and also there was dents, so I feel like it muffled the sound. He should have like rolled it over or something, try to get a better sound, because it didn't have the vibrant clanging sound. Like, I'm all for that. Like, that's an interesting thing that I feel like if you can pull it off as a band, that's cool, but it just didn't. Sometimes it just didn't fit. And after that was Corners of Sanctuary. These guys were cool. If I would have had money, because they had their CD there, I definitely would have bought their CD. But these guys were very much, you know, again, kind of, you know, metal. I don't know how, probably power metal is how I would describe them. They were just awesome. I went ham during these guys. Like, they were just a lot of fun. They brought a lot of energy. The singer was really, really good. The guitarist was good. The bassist was a surprisingly a good singer. I mean, just looking at him, and I know I probably shouldn't do that, but like just looking at him, I didn't think he could sing that way, but he could. And just everything was just really cool about these guys. I mean, you know, crap. What was their? They had a song "On the Hunt" or whatever, and they had the crowd chanting along, and it was just awesome. Like, I don't know. There's not too much that stood out about these guys. They were just really tight, and everything went so well together that nothing stood out. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Everything went together so well that you were just kind of there and a part of the moment. That's what made them really cool, because they had the energy. They had the tightness. They were really good. If anything, these guys might have been the local band that stole the show, in my eyes. Especially because a lot of people were going pretty hard for these guys. And then finally was Anvil, and Anvil's set was awesome. Again, a couple pet peeves. You know, there's Lips, there's Rob Reiner, and then I do not know the bassist's name, but yeah, they started off and Lips was playing guitar, and he came out into the crowd, and he was just shredding in the crowd, and you know, a lot of people took pictures with him. I know Joel, again, my friend, I went up to the show with him. He took a bunch of selfies with him, which was really funny and really cool. But, like, yeah, he was just, like, happy to be there. And kind of like Primal Fear, there might have been 100 people there, but these guys didn't look like they cared. Some of the highlights of this set were, you know, they played Metal on Metal as their last song, and then they also they played a song called Mothra, in Mothra, Lips pulled out a vibrator, and he was hitting the guitar strings with it. He turned the vibrations on, and he was using it as a slide. It was really cool, and that song was just awesome to listen to. They played School Love, they played Badass Rock and Roll, they played all kinds of really cool songs. My only pet peeve is that sometimes I feel like their set lost its energy at one point. Like, toward the end, until they played Metal on Metal, everything kind of went dead. And Lisp, his stories that he told were cool. He told about meeting Ozzy, he talked about meeting Dio and things like that. And he told really cool stories, but it took away from the energy. And I feel like it would have been a lot better if maybe he would have just told one of the stories and just kind of picked it back up. But I mean, other than that, they were fun. They were really happy to be there. And, you know, you don't see that too much with bands. You see a lot of bands that are just kind of playing. They just want to play, and they want to make their money, and that's it. But these guys had fun doing it, and that's why these guys are metal legends. So it was a great show. I believe Anvil's on tour. I hope they're on tour. You should definitely go see Anvil. They're a kick live, and you'll have a lot of fun doing it. So yeah, see ya.